Hey everyone, this is Satam here from 𝐄𝐝𝐮𝐜 Academy. Recently, I had mentioned that Pearson has added or updated their question bank for summarized written text, and these new questions are coming quite frequently in the test. So what I've done is I have done an explanation of these videos using our very own 𝐿𝐶hemist AI. And for those of you who are new to PTE or who are resuming the PT after quite some time, I'll just show you a couple of quick things about a summarized written text. Now, the very first thing with summarized written text is that I want you to remember you have to write the summary between 5 to 75 words and you have to use only one full stop in your answer. The second thing is this section carries your scores towards both writing and reading. It carries 14% of your writing scores and about 16% of your reading scores, which makes it really important. It is one of the key components to get a good reading score. If you go further and have a look in this, you must focus on content recognition. Now, for content recognition, there are three questions you should always ask yourself. What is the main idea of the summary? So for that, you need to skim and scan the question. Number two, what are the crucial details necessary for supporting those main ideas? You need to focus on topic sentences. Now, topic sentences can be found through intro, conclusion, or conjunctions. When I'm solving these questions, have a look, how do I identify topic sentences? And the last question is, what information is irrelevant or unnecessary? That means try to avoid unnecessary examples or direct quotes. Try to avoid those things. If you go forward, I just want you to remember a couple of things. Whenever you're doing a summary, try to work within the framework. The framework is simple: include the main idea. That means identify the main idea. The second thing is, when you summarize passages that are really long or have got multiple paragraphs in them, try to extract the key idea from each paragraph. Okay, omit ideas that are not really central to the text. Sometimes what happens is some ideas are just like repeated too many times. Try to avoid them. In general, try to omit minor details or very specific examples. Just try to. I'm not saying you must, because sometimes the content can be there. And one of the most important thing is, please avoid writing your opinions or personal responses in your summaries. You just need to sum up the text. You don't have to give your opinion, your idea. Is it clear? So remember, practice it with the proper timer and get an idea how to identify topic sentences. And for those of you who want to know what is the new questions that we should be expecting, these are the new questions that Pearson has added in. I've already done these two questions before, and the rest of them will be done from here on today. Please have a look how to identify these topic sentences, and once you go through these videos, I'm sure you do not need to worry about understanding this question again. And for those of you who are looking to train for PT or NATI or IELTS, or please feel free to contact us. We have our campuses in Gold Coast and Brisbane. We do offer face-to-face as well as online classes. And if you just want to try the AI, please get a free 3-day free trial to our 𝐿𝐶hemist AI PT practice software and try these questions on. So let's not waste our time. Let's start with the questions. All right, everyone. So let's start with another new question for summarized written text. So this one, we'll just pick up a completely different and a new one. It's called education technology. Let's have a look. So again, back to the same old exercise. I want you to skim and scan the question, and let's see what this question is about. So it says it's about a psychologist, days, teaching machine, children, questions, gizmo, salesman. Okay. Education technology, edtech, reshaped, teachers union, brain stretching, edtech, so forcing skeptics, software personalized, millions children, edtech, harmful ideas, conventional modeling. I can see edtech over here again, emerged, teach as many as effectively. Okay, so one thing I can say, okay, this question is definitely something that is related to education technology. I'm not so sure. We'll have to read through it. Let's have a look. So it says in 1953, B.F. Skinner visited his daughter's maths class. The Harvard psychologist found every pupil learning the same topic in the same way at the same speed. A few days later, he built his first teaching machine, which let children tackle questions at their own pace. By the mid 1960s, similar gizmos were being flocked by door to door salesmen. Within a few years, though enthusiasm for them had fizzled out. Okay, so as you can see that there are multiple paragraphs over here. We can take out a key idea from each paragraph depending on the fact whether they have the key ideas or not. Let's have a look. Since then, education technology or edtech has repeated the cycle of hype and flop, even as the computers have reshaped almost every aspect of life. One reason is the conservatism of teachers and the unions, but another is that the brain stretching potential of edtech has remained unproven. Okay, fair enough. Today, however, Skinner's heirs are forcing the skeptics to think again. Backed by billionaire techies such as Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, schools around the world are using new softwares to personalize learning. This could help hundreds of millions of children stuck in dismal classes, but only if ed tech boosters can resist the temptation to revive harmful ideas about how children learn. To succeed, edtech must be at the service of teaching, not the other way around. Okay, fair enough. The conventional model of schooling emerged in Prussia in the 18th century. Alternatives have so far failed to teach as many children as efficiently. Classrooms, hierarchical year groups, standardized curriculums, and fixed timetables are still the norms of most of the world's nearly 1.5 billion school children. Okay. Hmm. So I would definitely say that it is related to edtech. So this is a bit of a brief. If you carefully look at paragraph one, this is just a bit of brief about how technology got into education, how a Harvard psychologist was the first person to, you know, observe this and develop a machine. So I don't think it is about a Harvard psychologist. It's just about education technology. So let's just focus on that fact. So we will go through education technology over here. So let's look at this one. Education technology has repeated cycle of hype and flop, even as the computers have reshaped almost every other aspect or part of life. Let's just write this down. Education technology has repeated the cycle of hype and flop. Okay, why have they repeated the cycle of hype and flop? Okay, if you look at this, one reason is the conservatism of teachers and the union. So we can simply write, I'll just probably write it separately over here. One reason is the conservatism of teachers and unions. Okay, and let's just write over here, but another is the brain stretching potential of ed tech has remained unproven. Okay, now if you look at this, what I've done over here is in a very simple note, I'm just making note of sentences that I feel would be important. Okay, so brain stretching is a hyphenated word because that's what is given in the question. Okay, and then we will say this paragraph here, if we look at it, however, Skinner's heirs are forcing the skeptics to think again. So let's just write, however, Skinner's heirs are forcing the skeptics to think again. Okay, why is that? And the reason is because schools around the world are using new softwares. Okay, schools around the world are using new softwares to personalize. Okay, now in this case, I haven't used a semicolon. You don't need to. You can just simply leave it like that. Okay. And what is the benefit of personalized learning? It could help hundreds of children. Okay. Help hundreds of millions of children, and it says, but only if edtech can, resist the temptation and actually help them. And if you go to the last paragraph, they're just talking like no matter what is happening around the world, this is what is still the norm of the world. Okay, so it says classrooms, hierarchical year groups, year groups. Give me a second. I think it's hyphenated. Groups, standardized, standardized curriculums and fixed timetables are still the norm of most of the world's nearly 1.5 billion school children. Okay, now I want you to have a look at this. Just stick to what is given in the question. Don't change around, don't fidget around with it too much, and you should be fine. Okay, so let's just say school children. I think I just put an extra s. Okay, let's have a look. Now, if you look at it, I almost have 78 words without even combining any sentence. I need to combine this. Okay, so let's say if I started by writing like if I started by saying like educational technology has repeated the cycle of hype and flop, and we can say that, and one reason instead of that, let's just say because of the conservatism of teachers and teachers unions. Let's just change this one into one sentence. Teachers unions and let's just do this, and the potential and the potential, or let's just say and potential of edtech remaining unproven instead of remained, remaining unproven. So as you can see, I converted it into two small segments, and then we can, oh, we already have the conjunction. How is Skinner's errors are forcing the skeptics to think again, as schools around the world are using new softwares to personalize learning to help hundreds of millions of children. And we can simply write nevertheless, classrooms, hierarchical year groups, standardized curriculums, and fixed timetables are still the norm for the world's nearly 1.5 billion school children. Okay, if I just make it a little bit big, I have about 74 words. However, I would like to remove this tiny part over here. Let's just remove this. We'll just say world school children. Okay. And I've removed the word nearly as well. Goes down to 71. Let's just submit and see what scores we get. The reason why I removed nearly 1.5 billion is because this BN is just too short. It's an acronym, and I usually avoid. For me personally, I don't try to put acronyms unless they've been repeated a lot of times. So I'm gonna just submit it and see what scores do I get. Okay, softwares are using new software. So I've got a bit of a grammar mistake there. But if you look at it, so new software programs, products, packages. So what the AI is saying is it should have been a bit better. There is a slight mistake in the answer there. So we have to be very careful when we are writing an answer. See, I did mold it, but then there can be slight mistakes in there. As long as your content is fine, you should not worry much about it. And make sure that when you do a question, don't just blindly copy paste. Please read your answer before you submit. All right. And for those of you who've got your exams upcoming and would like to try this question on the AI, get a 3-day free trial access to the software and make sure that you get good scores in this. Familiarize yourself with the new questions and good luck. So I hope that I was able to help you understand the topic, sentences and the main idea of the summary. If your exam is around the corner and you want to try this summary by yourself, then please get a 3-day free trial access to the Alchemist AI PT practice software. And for those of you who are new to PT or are resuming your classes once again and are looking to get a desired score, come for a free trial class or a consultation and attend a face-to-face classes or online classes from a Gold Coast or a Brisbane campus and get your desired scores in your very first go.